Hey, hello everybody. It's Brad Tassell. We are 3 seconds late. Welcome to 1000 Marriage Questions. I want to start today by saying I want to thank all the people who were worried about me last week that I was high. I don't know if Sid knew this. He's going to come on in a minute. That it was the first time in my life that I've been high. I was on a muscle relaxant because of my jaw. By the way, the jaw is getting better. Still having a little trouble at night, but I can eat and I'm doing fine. Not that eating was a problem. But I want to thank all the people who were worried about me. I'm still manic like I always am, but I'm not high this week. And I want to thank my sister for making fun of me and saying it was the funniest thing she ever heard. And she wishes I could be on drugs every week. So welcome to the show. We're here to talk about your marriage and your life. And we're going to do that with special guest Sid Davis and Donna Wilburn today. And we're going to take a quiz. So I want everyone to get in on the quiz. You can put your answers to the quiz in the comments and we'll talk about them. Okay, let's start the show.
1000 Questions is an entertaining discussion of marriage. We aren't telling you to do or feel or change anything about your life. Really, just listen and enjoy. And if you need real help, find a professional for your specific problem. We don't know you. How could we speak to your deal? Okay, have fun.
Yeah. Hi. Hello, Sid. Hello, Donna. How are you?
Good.
Hi, guys.
Good. Hey, I forgot to do what I always do. I forgot to start with a question. I don't remember last week at all, Donna, so I don't know if we ended with a question. Usually I'll pull a question. Sid, what we do is I have a box. I don't know if you know from working on ships with me, I do a marriage show and I give people questionnaires, and I've got 1,000 of them in here. A lot of them repeats, but that's okay. And we answer them during the show, and I just pull them out at random, and we answer them during the show. I usually pull one before, and sometimes I'll pull one at the end of the last show, but I don't remember the last show.
He was so high. He was so high. We forgot.
Oh, really?
So here is what
a good show. I would have gotten high to been part of the group, you know.
Yeah, that's good. So are you a person that gets high, Sid, in any way?
Well, since we're on a podcast here, never, absolutely
Never.
not. No.
I deny everything.
Yeah.
Are you a drinker?
Oh yeah. Well, you went to the crew bar. There's nothing to do, but
yeah.
And then I just went to the doctor, and I got my physical, and I go, just how's my liver look? You know, by the numbers. He goes, looks great. And I'm like, oh, carry on.
Well, good. Yeah. So the alcohol's not hurting you.
No, this, I'm 75 years old, and I'm just kidding. No.
Good job.
You look 72. So anyway, okay. So here's what I pulled. It says, what is the secret to successfully bringing up a preteen? A preteen. Sid, do you have kids?
That's a good relevant one. Yeah.
Sid, first, do you have kids?
Yeah. We have 2, and they're grown. You know, they're in their 30s.
Boys and girls.
But we had, preteen, you know, like
12, 11, that age. That it's a rough age. I'll tell you this. When my daughter was a preteen, I went to Vegas for 7 months and was gone 7 months, and it destroyed her life almost. She fell apart. And
not having you there?
What?
Not having you there?
Not having me there was so stressful that she was getting bullied. She started, and she probably doesn't want me to tell this, but maybe she would. Well, she has no choice. So anyway, she started kind of taking on roles like a dragon. She would get mad at people, and she would growl on the playground and stuff like that. And it was really rough. We had to quit. I had to go home.
Wow. My kids never missed me when I was, my wife never missed me. That's one of my jokes is I'm so fortunate to have a wife that doesn't miss me. Yeah.
She's glad this has been the worst time in your marriage. This last 5 months you've been home. It's just like, aren't you leaving? Go somewhere.
I know.
He has to go like hide somewhere and pretend he's not there.
Well, thankfully the house is big enough. I can have my wing and she has hers. And
Are the kids with you now, or they're not? They're on their own lives.
They're on their own lives, but my daughter had some sort of a illness. I should have remembered that being her father, but
So good. Father moment.
she required a walker for a while, but she's back up to where with a cane and she'll be able to walk soon. But she's here living with us, and our house was absolutely spotless. I mean, it was the first time I came and I had time, and I cleaned. Boy, Donna, we got to talk. My wife and cleaning. No, and I get this whole thing.
It's not a priority.
Oh, stop it.
You're the team of the relationship.
I get this. Well, if you don't like it, do it yourself. Well, this has been going on for 40 years, so I have been doing it myself. I would just like help, and I'll go in.
You're a big boy now, Sid. You can do it yourself.
All right. Well, this is what leads to kids here.
Back to the question. Well, Donna, you start preteen. What are some things parents should do?
So I call it the age of the alien. An alien will invade your house for a couple of years, and they're really rude and selfish and, divas or whatever. So I had boys. I raised boys. And then now I have a granddaughter who is 12. And big difference. Big difference in those tween years. The boys just were gone. So luckily I didn't know what they were doing. I found out later, and I'm glad I didn't know. But they were just like, oh yeah, I'm going with my friends. Oh yeah, I'm going out. Oh yeah, I'm hanging out here. And I'm thinking they're just at a park or something.
I thought you were talking about masturbation. They were gone. I thought you said they were gone.
Where your mind goes.
I know. Well, maybe that's where I was going at the time. So anyway, keep going.
So now we have a granddaughter, and turns out I get to see the full-blown mood of the alien. And my poor son is like, what's up with her? And it's called tweens. So I tell parents, just, kind of leave them be for a bit. Don't poke the bear. And if they need to do something, make sure they earn. Like, if you want them to do something, say, you'll earn video game time if you do this, or you'll own phone time if you do this. Otherwise, they won't do anything.
Sid.
My kids were so much more behaved than I was at that age. Because my wife hovered over them. And then I guess that's a breakaway from rules, because they realize, the kids knows they know whose buttons they can push and who the soft one is. And it was always their mom. The enabler's not here to defend herself. If she was here, she wouldn't say anything.
Good way to pass the buck, though, Sid. Good job there. Good way to pass the buck. That's good.
That is so interesting.
She hates me already. This interview can't end soon enough.
Sweating bullets.
I'm sweating for some reason. But Sid, that's interesting.
Where's those pills when I need them?
That's interesting that she was the enabler, because here with my wife and my daughter, it was that they were kind of at odds. And I tell my wife, and I tell other women, I even do this on my show sometimes, that moms, you get so much of the hate and anger and stuff like that because they know you're not going anywhere. My daughter was so nice to everybody else out in the world. And so to everybody says she's so wonderful. My wife's like, why is she saying all this to me? And I said, because she knows you ain't going nowhere, and you're the one that's making her do stuff. And you're the ones that's asking her to. So she knows she can load this on you and be okay, that you're still going to be there for her no matter how mad you get. Where heck, I'm out of here. She makes me mad. I'm out.
The mom and the grandma get to see underneath the mask. We get to see what's underneath there. Lucky us.
And it ain't pretty. Let me tell you, it ain't pretty. So, okay. Well, that was good. Okay. So now I'm pulling another one. I think we're done with that. Man, we don't get this one too much. Why does the sex stop? Why does the sex
really neglected audience members?
So many. So Sid, why did the sex stop?
It's slowed down. Of course, when I'm out on a ship and I come home, it's
going like crazy.
It goes good, It's
You're
I rarely. Now here's how fortunate I am. Maybe I can score points with Donna. But my wife has never had highs and lows. There was no postpartum depression there during her monthly time. It was just a blip on the radar screen, or some women just shut down for 2-3 days. None of that. There's no peaks and valleys. It was just, But,
Good
but
to
she,
go.
there was never a no in the bedroom. It was, she never initiates, but she never says no. and it's fine.
He's blushing. He's like, oh,
You tell
yeah, I love your head.
studio like
He's blushing.
Wait, I want to get into this for a second. She never initiates, but she never says no.
well, she initiated. There were valleys in our marriage where in the bottom of the ninth where she initiated.
She was desperate.
Yeah, well, that's when
right now.
that's when all the things I'd ever asked for. It was like a union going on strike, and these are what I want. And
you have to come back to the table like a war. Like you have to come back and negotiate back and forth. And here's what you get. Here's what I get.
I want that.
Other than but other than when she's, she'll say I'm not feeling well. I'll know this at the beginning of the evening. Some days it's not going to happen. But that part has never been an issue with us.
Good for you. So I guess you can't answer the question. He's like, I don't know what they're talking about. We have plenty.
Well, I would say, first of all, in my situation, it's changed over the years because, and I recall this, and we've talked about this before, that in the beginning, I think a lot of women, and I would say my wife, is having more sex than they want with you just because they're being nice to you. But then as you get older, she's like, I don't want to necessarily have it as much, even though we're still having it all as much as we probably should have sex. But then there comes a point where you're right. I was initiating. She wouldn't say no. But now we're to the point where I look for cues that she wants to. I'm not pushing her to have sex, but I look for cues. And then sometimes she is like, hey, what are you doing? Let's go.
You get a big flat.
Yeah. Like, she's got a fire going. But I'm not going to push because I can kind of feel when things are right or when things are wrong. And I'm older too. So I'm not as I have sex all the time. Oh my God. So I can not have it. We've had times when we didn't even have sex. We were planning on having sex. We did a lot of kind of stuff. And then we just like, well, let's just
I'm good
tomorrow. Yeah, let's just finish this tomorrow. So Donna, what do you say about sex?
So really, honestly, sex shouldn't stop unless there's like some kind of medical issue. And even then you can still work around it. So if someone's in a relationship and sex has stopped, stopped for, I don't know, I'd say longer than 6 months or so, then there's probably something wrong with that picture. Sex is one of those natural, human, enjoyable activities. And if someone isn't really wanting to have enjoyable activity, that's sometimes a sign of depression. And if it's just they don't want to enjoy activity with you, then, something like
come to see you.
Yeah, they need help. You guys need help. But really, it does slow down. Like that is normal that it slows down because you're not just ruled by hormones, and it's, you got kids around or something. You have to kind of be more time management kind of thing. But it really shouldn't stop. So whoever that is, if sex has stopped, then you probably need to get in and talk to somebody. Something's wrong.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. I always say if somebody's a man or a woman, and I always say this is a man asking this question. It is I'm not 100%.
You would be surprised though these days and age with the women, getting a little bit more comfortable with their sexuality, how often it comes across my path that it's the woman saying, where'd the sex go, not the man.
Oh, and by the way, that reminds me to tell you, Sid, this was your wife that sent this question ahead of time. So,
oh, no, she didn't.
Surprise.
Surprise! This show's an intervention. She's here right now.
I didn't know sex stopped. Well, it did now.
Well, when you get older and there's Viagra needed or these pills, they were $50 each, before. And then I started going to Cozumel where they were $1 each. And then my wife just wanted to cry. She
was so happy.
The reprieve was over.
Oh, well, I do.
Because I'm a cheap guy for $50. I ain't taking the blue pill till I get a green light,
Yeah, like official for sure, no risk, 100% guarantee happening.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you have to. You're spending.
That's
the
how
money.
romantic I am.
Yeah.
Well, I do a joke in my show about women sometimes getting older and they're ready for some soldiers to fade away. They have heard taps, dun, 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 and they're like, thank God the penis is gone. And then one blue pill later, dun, 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 dun. I said, there's women. I had one woman tell me in Vegas, she goes, you know what I did? I switched his Viagra with Ambien. You got a good night's sleep in the morning. I said, that was really good last night. So, but here's what I want to say on the last note about this is that when you have a depth to your sexual life, it doesn't stop. I think about this. My wife and I talked about this last night. Sometimes you need to spend the time talking more about sex and working on specific areas of it, like doing this to make you feel good, doing this to make me feel good, as opposed to just getting to the act of having sex and then being done. And then that adds a whole new level to your sex life, that you can have different ways you have sex at different times. Sometimes for her, leading this, she shows you this, you show her that, and sometimes for you, and then sometimes normal sex. And I think you're going to have more of a varied sex life that won't then stop. Does that make sense?
There's a big difference between effing and intimacy. Those are two whole different ball games.
And what we're saying is no.
You have both, though. Isn't it fun to have both?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because when I'm taken to the house, it's effing. Yeah.
It's nothing.
Well,
and don't ask me what's going through my head, because there ain't much blood up there at that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. We're on autopilot.
Not even enough to sustain hair.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just pops out. It's like the Starship Enterprise when they're approaching warp speed. Just
Warp.
giving her all she's got.
I got dick, Captain. I got it. Oh, it's going.
What's going on in there in the little control room?
Ever been right there, like taking it to the house and the phone rings, and now see a woman can shut down. Like, okay, well that's it. Me, no, the show must go on.
Throw the phone against the room.
That's right.
The show goes on.
You gotta you gotta smack that.
That is focused. You are focused. When you're in there, you are focused on the activity.
Sometimes I think I'm going to have a stroke. And I said, if I'm going to die, this is the story I want my widow to tell the visitor, because they'll come, how'd he die? I tell her to say I was out weed whacking, and I fell over. But
is that what you call it? Weed whacking?
That's right. That's our code for weed whacking.
Wow.
That's our word now. We're going to call it weed whacking.
Weed whack. Actually, that's what happens on the nights where she doesn't feel like it. Okay, well, we'll go do some weed whacking.
That's right. You're going to have to.
Weed whacking is a solitary activity.
That's right.
It is. It is.
That Donna's preteen sons were doing when she thought they were out.
I don't know anything that is not true. I'm in denial. Please don't talk about it.
Really? Well, it's such a natural.
I don't want to know these things. No.
You don't want to see them, but you know.
Well, I know, but I don't want to know.
So that leads me to this: is as you get older, do you ever still have any performance anxiety over sex?
No.
No.
You say no. I know it's common. I know
it's common, but I was asking Sid if he had it specifically. I do not.
He's like, yeah, no anxiety here.
Do you have it?
No, that's away anxiety.
The blue pill?
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
I don't have any. And no, I don't have any. Are you talking about having anxiety and then not being able to perform?
No, it's the performance anxiety. You're what ifing, like, oh gosh, I hope I can perform, and oh gosh, like I hope this goes well, and then because you're so anxious, it doesn't.
Nah, and after that pill and at 30 minutes,
anxiety.
Yeah.
The only anxiety is that I bought these in Cozumel, and God knows what's in them.
Yeah, I was going to say you don't know what you're taking at this point.
I could wake up one morning and the thing looks like a pretzel.
Or you find out it's estrogen, and then you got the breasts. And then
right. That'd be a bonus for me. I just
All right.
What are women for now? I'm good.
Okay, one more quick question, and then we're going to do an ad, and then we're going to take the quiz. Here we go. How does the new wife deal with baby mama drama when the baby mama is a bitter, salty, dope-headed bitch?
run that by me again, or
Okay.
either that or
This
break
one,
it down.
this one is definitely written in a way. How does the new wife? She's the new wife writing this, I'm guessing, because the handwriting is kind of womany. It's kind of got the little face and the curves. How does the new wife deal with the baby mama drama? So I'm guessing dealing with the previous relationship's mother of the child when the baby mama, the child, is a bitter, salty, dopehead, bitch that they also do drugs. How do you deal with that? Donna, we're just going to go to you.
Yeah.
I would say really good boundaries and a CPS call.
What is CPS? Child Protective Services?
Child Protective Services, yeah. So if someone is doing drugs around children, that's a call you're supposed to call. But let's say it's an assumption and you're not sure. If you're dealing with baby mama drama, then you and the baby daddy have to have super strong boundaries. Like, no just texting all the time and ranting at each other and yelling in when you're switching the kids over. You have to have really strong boundaries and behave like a professional. You don't engage in it. You walk away from it. You don't like argue with crazy people. And if they're still being crazy, you get TPOs, you get like harassment issues. You have to set those strong. That's the crowd I work with here in Vegas. Mm-hmm. Is the crowd that tends to have bad boundaries with stuff like that. And I have to be a freaking drill sergeant. I'm like, you do that again, and I am making sure that there are consequences. You have to have strong rules and boundaries.
Just, it's odd to think about lives that I don't even have a thought about.
Oh, yeah. Lovely.
You would think there'd be an indication of this before you got married or involved to the point.
Right? I tell them, I'm like, you pick this person. You pick
people still do it. They don't care. Yeah, people don't care. They don't care. They're like, oh,
what do you have sex with? They can have babies, and then you're stuck with them forever.
Yeah. All right, hold on.
Voted Michiana's #1 restaurant, Doc Pierce's will open on Monday, May 18th, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Carryout will also resume with service to your car or walk-in. Come in and enjoy all Doc's classic dishes and appetizers, plus daily specials and drinks. Call 574-255-7737 for reservations, carryout, or curbside. We politely request that all guests wear a mask while entering and exiting the restaurant. Our goal is to ensure the safety of both our staff and our guests. Doc Pierce's, the doctor is in.
And this one. Okay, so that was for me. Please go and stream everything I have. Also, Sid is on every platform. Let me put up a little banner that tells people where your website is so that people will know. So, okay, MrSidDavis.com. To get Sid, hire him, bring him to the show. He can also do it in Zoom. Okay, so here's the quiz. I think it's from Women's Health. I can't remember. But it's actually a very kind of touching little quiz from the past where you answer questions about the past of the relationship with your spouse.
Are you is this a scoring quiz where you get a score means
this
something?
Is not a scoring quiz.
Okay. So
this is a remembrance type quiz. There'll be scoring quizzes other days. Okay. So, all right, everybody, anybody out there listening and even later, which is where we get most of our listeners, you can also post in the comments and we will talk about them later. Number one.
Their answers. So post comments. I want to see people's answers.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. What do you remember thinking to yourself the first time you saw your significant other, your spouse? Locked eyes for the first time. What did you think? Sid, go.
She's cute. She was a food server in college in the cafeteria, and she had a big afro, and she had a little they had to wear hats, these little, and it was bobby pinned on top of it. I thought she was cute.
But then how long after that until you met her?
I saw her in an elevator. I had this thing where I found out her name was April, and she got in the elevator, and I got out, and I said, "Hi, April," and then I just left. And
that's smooth move.
Yeah, I left it as a mystery.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was either,
how long after that until you saw each other again?
I asked her to. I knocked on her door, and I asked her to a hayride. And first of all, I knocked on her door, and they had the names on the doors in the College Inn at Ohio University where I went, and it said April Willimowski. She comes, and I said, "I saw you here. You want to go on a hayride?" And my wife, boy, we got to fly out there, and she never answers questions with answers. They're always
other questions,
statements that figure out. She goes, "Well, I'm not working that night." And I go, "So was that a yes?" And she goes, "It sounds like it might be fun." I go, "Is that a yes?" I should have just turned around and ran. There. This has been 35 years of this.
Well,
I was what do you want to go? Is that a yes or a no? That was our first fight, and it's been continuing. No, she does that kind of.
Still waiting for the answer.
Yeah, I guess it's a yes. We went.
You have not gone to the hayride. Well, what's funny is your story makes me think it was 1879 that this happened. We went to the square dance, and then we saw the thing. It was after the gold rush. It was really
oh, it was fun.
So Donna, what's yours, real quick?
Mine. So my husband was the maintenance man at the apartment complex I was at, and when I first saw him, he's wearing this tank top and he had muscles, and so I was like, "Ooh, he's hot."
This sounds like a porn movie. The plot of a porn movie.
Yeah,
and they were in Vegas. So look that film up. It was called Donna and the Maintenance Man.
The Maintenance Man. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I will tell you this.
I would use an alias.
That's true. But and block your face out.
Right, blur, full of blur.
Her hair was dark back then, so we would not know it's her. So okay, so mine is, and I tell this story because I remember it. It is glued in my memory. The moment I saw my wife, I said this in my act too. I saw a spark in her eyes. She changed in her eyes, like there was and I was thinking, I just want to bang that, but in my eyes,
nice in romance.
I know. Well, but again, I say in a lot of cases, it took me a couple years to learn that she was forever for me. But she was literally hooked in a second, which is scary because I'm not much of a prize. So there was something chemical going on. And she learned, I always said, I learned to love her forever. And she learned not to love me as much as we went on. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2, what qualities first attracted you to your partner? Go.
She was quiet and not bossy. I just come out of a very bad relationship where it was made clear the whole relationship I was second fiddle. I was dominated. It was a bad relationship for me, and I said I'm never going to let anybody make me feel this way again. So I was attracted to that. I don't want to say I dominated the relationship, but I kind of did. We went everywhere I wanted to go, and I'd ask her, you want to go to Wendy's to eat? Well, I like Wendy's, and again, never answered yes, no.
I just ended up at Wendy's.
No, but she has never made me feel miserable. I had that feeling. It's part of happiness, isn't it, Donna? Is not feeling miserable.
This is love. I think that's love.
Yeah.
It has never made me feel miserable.
Well, love takes time, but that's a good start. Okay, Donna, you.
All right, so I have to say it's his bod. Like, I really, really liked his bod. He was, pretty hot, and I'm a uber nerd. Okay, like, A+ student, little tiny person, and not super social or anything. And at that time, you know, he's muscles and a kind of a bad boy. And, you know, I was attracted to that.
He's dumb as a stump too. That's like that. That's
Yeah.
okay. Good. I'm glad you agree.
He's
So
still-
real quickly, mine is that I was very attracted to what she was going to be for the rest of her life. She was very cute. I mean, I thought but I had already written a thing about the kind of person I was looking for in life. And then suddenly she was these things, and it just fit so well that I liked where she wanted to go, what she was thinking about her future, where she went. And those were just very attractive. And I wanted to bang her, but I was attracted to that too.
Yeah.
But it was something about her, where she wanted to go, what her goals were.
She was motivated. She was motivated.
And she was motivated, and she cared about stuff, and she really, really dug me, which was, there's so few people that have ever been attracted to me. Well, and Sid, I will agree with you. My first girlfriend in high school was a psychotic person. Probably not now. And it drove me so nuts that the girl I dated in college was just the opposite. She never said a thing. I'd say, do you want to go here? And she'd go. And that was it. So I wanted something in the middle. You know what I mean? Something in the middle. Okay. Okay, next. What is your favorite date you've ever had? Think of a time, one thing, and you can't use the hayride.
Well, that was a good one. that got the
Does it have to be
ball
with
rolling.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Favorite date. We had, I think for us, it was our wedding day. We went downtown and then went to McDonald's, and that date will forever be my fave.
Aw, that's so sweet. Sid.
Can it be after we got married?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
When we went to Hawaii and we went bike riding down the Haleakala Hill, and that whole week was a good date.
Wow, that is really special. I would say, I'm going to say last night we had a really good date.
Oh, listen,
And I'm only saying this because I have no memories of anything. No, we last night we made hamburgers, fake hamburgers. We don't eat meat. And we had dinner and we watched one show and we talked. And then we did, as we said, we discussed a lot of fun things and laughed a lot. And we had lots of laughing. And when there's lots of laughing, I'm very happy. So what is, okay, what, not like that one. What is your first sexual memory?
The hayride.
Her spouse.
The hayride. Sid jumped right in to the so
That's
so
a bit
that,
messy, though,
hayride.
isn't it?
The what? Yeah. Well, Donna, I'm guessing because it was porn immediately, you were in fast. Did he have to wear the muscle shirt and the maintenance belt while you did it for the first time?
Right. And our first date was an intimate date, and I'm not going to give you details of that, but
I don't want details of what positions and stuff like that, but it was because a lot of times people, the first sexual time isn't so good.
it was good.
It was well, there you connected sexually.
Yeah.
Okay, because that would be more of a woman question. Because obviously Sid and I connected sexually. I mean, we ended up having.
Enjoy that, and I hope your relationship lasts forever.
So let's go back to the hayride. During the hayride or after the hayride?
After the hayride. Yeah.
Where?
Oh, back at my dorm room.
Nice. Not during the hayride. Well, mine is my wife and I didn't do anything and I mean sexually, we didn't even date for 2.5 weeks after we met. We were just kind of flirty, and we were at a camp for kids. She was a counselor. I was the assistant director. So it was one of those kind of things where I had power over her, and I said she'd be fired if we didn't go out. So anyway, but no, I'm kidding. We didn't date the whole time till the camp was over. Did not go out. Don't send me letters or do it. Who cares? So we went on our first date, June 28th, 1990. We just had our 30th anniversary of our first date. And it was the most amazing date. And I found a $20 bill on the dance floor. We went and danced. We had a lovely night. And then we didn't complete the entire thing, but we did all the stuff up to it. And I still remember what she was wearing and what it looked like when she didn't have it on. And that was, I was hooked from that moment on. So
wow. Now I'm aroused.
And now I'm picturing it in my head. Okay, one more, and then we're going to leave on that. How did you know that you wanted to be with your spouse, and when forever? When did you know this was it?
Who answers this one? Me?
You do first.
It was after we had broken up a couple times, because you're in college, you know. And I'd go home, and then I'd have others, and then she started dating somebody else or seeing somebody else, and then I realized, I really miss her a lot more than I thought I did. And then we got back together, and then we stayed till now, till she sees this show, and then I might have to come see Donna.
Yeah, but was there a moment when you were like, "This is it. I'm going to be faithful and blah blah to this person now forever"?
No, I was never swept off my feet, honestly.
Well, but there's a moment when you make that decision, right?
I have to tell you, like, I don't. I think it's so far so good. That's where I'm at. So far so good. If it goes like this forever, I'm good. Like, I don't go like, I am stuck to you forever, I'm never leaving. Or you are stuck to me forever, you're never leaving. I don't work like that.
The one little problem, you're out of there.
Yeah, well, I'm present, more of a present focused person. So it's so far so good. And if we encounter problems, we'll try to fix them. And if they can't be fixed, I guess it's no. I guess then it's moving on.
What problem can't be fixed?
Huh?
What problem can't be fixed? Name one.
Like, let's say I have someone like this where the one party thinks it's totally fine to be unfaithful and the other party does not, and they refuse to come to an agreement. So that cannot be fixed.
No, that cannot be fixed. Because I will say that's so funny, because I have a specific moment when I knew that I was going to do that. And I told her, because what happened was I kind of wasn't serious the first year that we were going out. She was more serious than me. I was already a comic on the road full time, had been for 3 or 4 years. And she broke up with me and said, I'm not playing this, forget it. And we were broken up for 2 weeks. And then I called her. I said, can we have dinner? And we went to Shoney's. It was really creepy. We sat in the middle of creepy Shoney's, dirty floor. And I said to her, if you'll take me back, I will never, it is you forever. I will never, until you dump me or do this. This is what I want forever, if that's okay with you. If not, that's fine too. But this is forever. Because I was like you, Donna, my girlfriend in college, we just said, you know what? We're just going to date till we're not dating. And then one day we weren't dating. And then we went on. But I told my wife, that's not what I wanted. I said, I have really got it. I've made a decision. So if you still want me, I am in for it. Because I told her at that time too, I said, because she'd had other bad relationships where people treated her horrible. And I said, I will, from this day on, you will never have to worry about a relationship. You will never. I know I'm on the road as a comic. I know I'm doing things out there, but you will never have to worry about your relationship from now on. We can worry about a million other things, but never this relationship. So, and then she said, you're a lying jerk. And she left, and I haven't seen her since. So it's
yeah, right. Bad. And then, no, but this we're dating till we're not dating thing. So far, it's been about 30 something years. So I guess we're still good.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's kept his shape.
That is a bonus.
He gets a gut. He's out. I think that he doesn't know that.
That's how I am.
All right. Sid Davis, go to MrSidDavis.com. Donna Wilburn, you know how to get a hold of her. Somehow it's right on your thing, even though it's gone right now. I am Brad Tassell. We will be back next week. Wait, I'll pull a quick question. And
a teaser question.
How many days average does it take buttering her up until we, oh my God, it's another one about having sex in the butt. We'll talk about it later. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for
the end of
being
the
here.
program, right?
It's amazing. I'll see you next week. Bye.